Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are practicing fractions. I hope you have completed your work. Okay, the work which I have given in my previous video. Let me remind you. I have told you to complete question 5 of exercise 7B in the textbook. I have also told you to complete quick assessment of page number 94 in the textbook. In our previous video, we have already learned about number lines. Right? We have learned about number line, that how to present fraction on the number line. Now let us do exercise self-practice 7C, where we are learning how to put the fraction, the given fraction on the number line. Now, self-practice Self-practice 7C, question 1. Now question 1 says that represent the given fractions on the number lines drawn below. Okay, so question 1 is of A and B. You can do this question 1 in the textbook itself. You can do question 2 also in the textbook. You can do question 3 also in the textbook. So again, the whole exercise 7C in the textbook. Okay. So let us do this question 1, that represent the given fractions on the number line drawn below. The number lines are already given to you, but if it is asked in exam, then you have to draw it and then you have to make parts of it. Okay, so A is 6 upon 7. Okay, A is 6 upon 7. So now here the number line is already given to you. Here you are given the marking, that is 0, and here is the marking is 1. Okay, we all know when it becomes one whole, when the numerator and denominator becomes the same, it is called one whole. Okay, this is the number line. This is the fraction to be shown on the number line. Now how we come to know that how many parts to be done to the number line? Okay, so as I have said before, that denominator always shows the total number of parts of a whole. Okay, so here if it is 7, means the whole number line is divided into 7 equal parts. Okay, so now you have to divide your number line, which is given in the textbook, into 7 equal parts. Why 7 parts? Because denominator is 7, so always the denominator represents the total number of parts. So if the 7 is here, means we have to divide this number line into 7 equal parts. Okay, so here we will be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7. Why this is 7? I'll tell you why. Okay, this is 1 out of 7. This is 2 out of 7. This is 3 out of 7. This is 4 out of 7. This is 5 out of 7. This is 6 out of 7. And this is 7 out of 7. This one is means 7 out of 7. We all know when the numerator denominator becomes the same, it is called equals to 1. So here you can write like this way, that your 1 is already written over here, so you can write 7 upon 7 is equals to 1. They are equals to 1. Okay, now I have to show this fraction on the number line. 6 upon 7 is this. Okay, so whatever fraction they are telling you to represent on the number line, that you have to highlight. You can put the box to the fraction means you are highlighting your answer. 6 upon 7. 6 upon 7. You are highlighting your answer. Okay, so this is A. Now B is 4 upon 10. Okay, so the B you have to do by your own. The same way, 4 upon 10 means you have to divide your number line. This number line is very small. So when you divide into 10 parts, you have to be very careful that you make equal 10 parts. Okay, now let's move to the question 2. See, I'll be teaching you one of each. The rest you have to try by your own. Okay, so now let's do question 2A. Now question 2A says they have already marked the number line and given to you. Okay, and out of all the marking, they have highlighted one marking. Means you have to tell that what that fraction represents. So let's understand how to do it. This is 0. Now here how many markings are there? The markings are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, here is a 1. This is your 11th mark. This is 1 means your 11th mark. So total 11 parts. And 11 out of 11 means 1. Why I have written 11 over here? Because my total markings are 11. And as we all know that denominator represents the total number of parts. So my denominator is 11, which will be the denominator for rest of the fractions too. Okay, now when it becomes 1, when the numerator and denominator becomes the same, then it is called equals to 1. Okay, so here is a 0, here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so now this is what will be my denominator. There are 11 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So my denominator is 11. This is 1 upon 11, 2 upon 11, 3 upon 11, 4 upon 11, 5 upon 11, 6 upon 11, 7 upon 11, 8 upon 11, 9 upon 11 and 10 upon 11. Okay, this we have marked the fractions on the number line. But if you observe, there is a given letter A. Now where it is, the letter A is here, the 1, 2 and on the third mark, here is the letter A is given. Now the question is, wherever the letter A is given, whichever point it is given, you have to tell which fraction it is. So you can see that A is on 3 upon 11. Means here box is given to you. In this box you have to write 3 upon 11 as your answer. Where the point A is there, that is your 3 upon 11. Okay. Again I am repeating how to know that what will be the denominator. To know the denominator, you have to count that your number line is divided into how many parts. In as many as parts it is divided, it will be your denominator. Okay. Now I have done A for you, B you have to do by your own. Now question 3. Question 3 says circle the fractions for 0 and tick the fraction for 1. Let's do this question. Okay, so this is our question 3. Now question 3 says circle the fractions for 0. Okay, so it means what? That you have to do circle which fraction represent 0. Okay, so you have to circle the fractions which represent 0. So let's see it. But you have another question that tick the fractions for 1. Now for 1 means you have to tick the fractions which are equals to 1. We all know the fractions with the same numerator and denominators are equals to 1. Means when the numerator and denominators both the numbers are same like this, then that fraction represents one whole, or you can say that that fraction is equals to 1. Okay, so first of all let's circle the fractions for 0. Okay, so this is not the fraction for the 0, not this, not this. Okay, this one can be the fraction for the 0. Okay, you can write either 0 or you can write 0 upon 3 when you start the number line. Okay, now not this, not this. Okay, this one. This is the fraction which represents 0. This is also the fraction which represents 0, and this is also the fraction which represents 0. Okay, now let's move to the next point, that is take the fractions for 1. So now fractions for 1 are when the numerator and denominator is same, it is equals to 1. This is same, so equals to 1. This is same, so equals to 1. Numerator, denominator is same, so equals to 1. Numerator, denominator is same, so equals to 1. Numerator, denominator is same, so equals to 1. So this way you can do question 3 in your textbook itself. Okay, so here we are completing our self-practice 7C. Okay, now let's learn something new. Okay, till now you were learning very much familiar things and very much familiar topics which you have already studied in your Form 3, more of, not all but most of the topics. Now actually we are going to start the new things of the fractions. Okay, so let's learn the types of fractions. You are learning few types of the fraction this year and more will be next year. So as much as there in your syllabus, we'll be learning all the types of the fractions. Okay, so first type is like fraction. You are learning types of fractions. Okay, types of fractions. We'll be learning one by one, as many as are there in your syllabus. Is a like fraction. So what is like fraction? Okay. So, like fractions, you can see the like fractions. Like fractions means individually, means one fraction you cannot consider as a like fraction. If you want to understand like fraction, or if you want to differentiate like fraction, you have to always think in a group. Okay, so two or more fractions together make like fractions. Single fraction cannot make like fraction. So always remember for like fractions, that's why it's plural, like fractions. Unlike fractions, they are never to be represented in a single. Okay, they are always in a group. You can represent like fraction or unlike fraction with the two fractions or more than two fractions. Okay, single fraction you cannot classify as a like or unlike fraction. So always remember, like and unlike fractions are always in group, not single. Okay, two or more. Always there are two or more fractions together, then only they can be considered as a like fraction or unlike fraction. Okay, so first type is like fraction, then next type is unlike fraction. With the word you can understand they are opposite. As like and unlike, both the words are opposite. So same as fractions are also different and opposite from each other. How they are different, how they are opposite, we'll learn. So first of all, let's see what is like fractions. So you can say fractions that have same denominators are called okay. So fractions that have same denominators are called like fractions. So so you can say the classification or identity of like fractions is based on its denominators. So here, if you want to say whether they are like fractions or they are not like fractions, or means you can say they are unlike fractions, like fractions, you have to observe its denominators. Okay, what the definition says? The definition says fractions that have same denominators. Okay, same denominators. So let's see how same denominators. Okay, suppose I am giving you this fraction. Now, I have made a group of 4 fractions. Now, let's compare it with the definition. The definition says fractions that have same denominators. Means you have to observe the denominators. You can see this is 10, this is 10, this is 10, this is 10. Means all the denominators are same. You don't have to look at the numerators. Okay, so always remember, like fraction and unlike fraction, we never decide with the numerators. We always decide it with the denominators. So when the thing comes to the like fraction or unlike fraction, you have to just focus on the denominators. You don't have to bother that what is the numerators. Okay, so the like fraction says that if all the denominators are same, then all the fractions are called like fractions. As I have said, the like fraction cannot be represented single. It is always in the group. In the group means more than 2. Okay, 2 or more than 2 fractions together can be classified as a like fraction or unlike fraction. So if I just give you one fraction, that 9/15, and I tell you that tell me whether it is like or unlike, no, not possible. With one fraction you cannot say whether it is like or unlike. You will always need group. Group means 2 or more than 2 fractions together can be classified as a like fractions or unlike fractions. So like fraction means, again I am repeating, the fractions that have same denominators are called like fractions. So you can easily observe that all the fractions are having same denominators. One more example we can see that if I say 15/25 and 9/25, so both the fractions are having same denominator, means both the fractions are like fractions. So this is like fraction. Now let's learn unlike fraction. As I have said that this like and unlike, the word itself says that they are the opposite words. So same way the fractions are also representing something opposite properties. So let's learn unlike fraction. in unlike fraction, you can say that fractions that have or you can say that that have different denominators are called unlike fractions. Okay, so fractions that have different denominators are called unlike fractions. Now you can easily see the definition that they are opposite definitions, right? Like fraction says that it should have same denominators, then it is like fraction. Unlike fraction says opposite to it should have different denominators, then it is called unlike fractions, right? As I have said, they are opposite. So obviously they are presenting opposite kind of fractions also. For example, if you see, suppose I say that 9 upon 10, 9 upon 8, 9 upon 5, 11, or you can say 9 upon 13, 9 upon 15. Okay. Now see, this is 1 and this is also 1. 1 upon 11, 3 upon 13, 5 upon 9, 6 upon 7. Okay. Now here I have represented two types of unlike fractions. Two different way I have represented. Okay. Now what is the thing what I want you to teach is, see here all the numerators are same. So numerators are same does not mean they are becoming like fraction. As I have said, to decide whether it is like fraction or unlike fraction, you have to focus on the denominators. Always on the denominators. Doesn't matter what is your numerator, whether your numerators are same or your numerators are different. It is not your concern. Like and unlike fractions are always to be decided with their denominators, never with the numerators. So you don't have to get confused that oh, all the numerators are same means it is like fraction. No. Like fraction, unlike fraction, always to be decided by denominators. If denominators are same, it is like fractions. If denominators are different, then it is unlike fraction. So always remember, like and unlike fraction always to be decided by denominators, never with the numerators. Same denominators like fractions, different denominators unlike fractions. Okay, so this is like and unlike fraction. These two types we have learned. One more type is there, that is equivalent fractions. Okay, so what is equivalent fractions? That we'll learn in our next video. Till then, thank you. Bye.